What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be the frog room tour for March 2019. I know it's been a little while since I posted a room tour, but to be fair, I've had a lot going on, which I'll fill you guys in on in this video. So without further ado, let's do this thing. Alright guys, I know I've been away from the updating for quite a while. I was actually shooting this video last week, about a week and a half ago, and I was rudely interrupted by my girlfriend saying we had to go to the hospital because she was going into labor. So I'm happy to say I now have a baby boy named Max, and he looks just like me, just throwing that out there. So I know I'm the father. Yeah, so I was shooting that video last week. I know it was only a week sooner, but yeah, I've just been busier with work and stuff coming in now. So I don't have as much time to film or edit. So that's kind of been taking up some of my time. But anyways, you guys saw a quick little panoramic of my what the frog room currently looks like, and I'm sure you guys noticed that the one tank is missing on the rack right here, because I sold my pair of Bilsa and I sold that tank as well with the frogs. But I do have froglets from them, so I'm going to grow them back up, and then I'll have a new tank for them when I rebuild these tanks. So I've got all the tanks on the bottom rack on this. They're all empty now, so there's nothing in those, and I've got the frogs that were there moved into the new racks, or the new tanks. So now I have to do, I've already ordered 2 more tanks, and then I'll be ordering 2 more tanks. What will this be? In probably 2 weeks, so I can build those 4 tanks, move the 3 frogs up here into those tanks, then I can sell these, and then build the new ones. So it's just a little bit of a process I had to do. But I didn't have to do it. It's the one I chose to do. So, you know, it seemed like the most cost-effective way, and, you know, time-wise, wasn't in a super big rush, but working pretty fast. So, yeah, you'll see in this video, there's a couple tanks that are really covered in condensation because I'm trying to grow the moss that I just recently put in their tank. So, growing the moss, I always want as much humidity as possible. So yeah, I've got that going on. So you'll see in the other videos that I do take the glass off, which you can see inside, but I have my yellowbacks and my Vanessa in those 2 tanks. But yeah, and then I've got some moving around to do. You know, I've got to move, I'm going to move my LEHMANNI, which are in, let me see where we're at, this tank, and I'm moving them up. So they're going to be next to the bullseye, and then I'm going to be moving. So I'm putting these 2 tanks over here, over on this new rack, which you can see it kind of have built over here. So I built that rack. There's going to be 4 tanks going there. Then I'm going to do 4 tanks here, and then probably another 4 over there, and then another 4 here. So 16 more tanks to do. So I'm still a long way from done. But it should look really cool when it's all done. And yeah, I'll be able to sit back and enjoy and just breed frogs, sell frogs, enjoy the hobby, and you know, it'll be where I want it. So happy for that to come. I should be done, honestly, maybe fall. I'll be done with everything, I'm thinking. Now, I may not have frogs in all those tanks because some of those frogs are really expensive, so I'm not going to be spending loads of cash on that. I'll be spending money that I make from frog sales or trades and stuff like that. So that takes some time. So I should have the tanks done, but I may not have them filled. So without further ado, let's get into some of the tanks and show some of the footage that I shot for you guys. I know you don't like when I talk a whole lot, so peace! Alright guys, we'll start out the tour by showing you my Dendrobates tinctorius Qatari tank first. That's this tank right here on the left. And we got the female there. And we'll give you some close-up shots. That's the male. These guys haven't started breeding for me since I put them in the new tank, but they've only been in here for about 5 or 6 weeks, so hopefully soon they'll get started back up again. And here's the big old female. These are some of my favorite tinctorius, if not the favorite that I've ever seen in person. And there's the drip wall vivarium, which I gave you guys an update on that a couple weeks ago. This rack here is new, and obviously there's going to be 4 more 22 by 17 by 24 tanks going in place of that. So that's going to be in the upcoming frog room tours. We've got some moving around to do as well, like the Qatari tank and the drip wall tank. I plan on putting those on the bottom shelf, so I'll probably move those down to the bottom shelf to the left, and then when I add my PUMILIO tanks, they'll go up top. Here we have my Escudo, which, as you guys know, I lost my female a couple months back, and that's my male right there. I have 7 frogs in that tank, or 7 froglets growing up, and it's been courting 1, so hopefully I do have a female there. This is the Cemetery Bastimentos tank. There's my female sitting in a film can. I believe they're breeding right now because 4 froglets just came out of the water within the last couple weeks, so they usually get right back on schedule. This is my bullseye tank. And while there wasn't any cool footage from today, I had some old footage that I figured I'd splice into this clip here. And as you can see here, they are still currently laying some eggs. You can see 1 developing egg there, sorta. There's a couple other ones right back to the right that are developing as well. So should have some more froglets in the upcoming months. There's 3 in there currently, or 4 in there currently. And then of course we have the San Lorenzo Sylvatica tank. Still looks pretty much exactly the same. I did add the little orchid here. Or I maybe added a couple orchids, but nothing's really changed there. There's the female. And I spliced in another clip here, just to make it interesting. And this is my female here. She's reared many froglets, and they currently have 3 froglets in the tank, and they're laying eggs again. So definitely one of my favorite obligates, and a must-have for everybody. So moving on to the rack that I'm getting rid of, you can notice that the top left tank, the old Bilsa tank, is gone. I did sell the Bilsa as well, but I kept the froglets. And these bottom 4 tanks right now are empty. There's nothing in those besides plants. So I'm going to be taking these 3 frogs, or these 3 tanks. I'm going to be redoing 4 more tanks for this rack here, and the 3 frogs and the 3 types of frogs in those tanks I'm going to be moving over. So we'll have nothing left in these tanks, and then I'm selling all 7 of these tanks. Got a buddy coming to pick these tanks up, and once those are done, then I'm going to be building another rack to go in place of this. It's going to be, well, 2 4-foot racks, but they're going to be 24 inches deep. So rather than the 18 inches deep, and they're going to be mainly large obligate tanks. As you guys can see, I've just gone along these tanks. You guys have seen the frogs before. There's a Solarte in here. So then once that's done, my room will basically be done the way I want it, and everything will look uniform. All the faces will be 22 wide by 24 tall, and the depths, it doesn't really matter because you don't see that. So they'll all look the same from the face, and that's exactly what I want. There's my female Solarte. So yeah, that's all the tanks on the top rack. Now we're going to move on to the bottom rack. These are my 2 newest vivariums that I set up. On the left are my Vanessa, and on the right are my yellowback. And the reason that there's tons of condensation on them is because I covered the vents with tape right now, just because the new moss and the new plants that aren't well established yet, you want to give them as much humidity and moisture as possible so they don't dry out and die. So that's why I have all the vents covered at this moment. So that's why the condensation is covering the glass. But I'll take the glass off and just show you a quick look at their vivariums. I did them very simple, just same backgrounds that I do before, and just jam some wood in there. And these should grow in pretty cool though. I did leave like little water areas in the front of the tanks, which I think makes the tanks look taller rather than having 4 to 5 inches of substrate and your drainage layer and all that. So leaving the front area with water, I feel, is making the tanks look larger in height and just kind of a overall better aesthetic. So these are the yellowbacks you guys have seen so many times, and you can see the freshly laid Riccia moss I laid down. I also laid down quite a bit of Java as well. So no breeding from these guys. They've only been in here for maybe 2-3 weeks, so no breeding from them as well in here, but it's only a matter of time, hopefully. So give you a peek at their tank as well. Like I said, just very simple, but I had to move them out of the other tanks because the other tanks were 30 inches tall and just didn't match. So here's the green Sipaliwini, female, chowing down on some flies. I actually lost my old green Sipaliwini female, and this new female is actually one of its grandchildren, which is kind of funny. This tank just has some Dendrobates, Tinctorius, Qatari froglets. It's a grow out. I've got quite a bit of froglets in there. There's some green Sipaliwini and yellowback in there as well. But yeah, just for froglets. This is my yellow LEHMANNI tank. Very simple tank, just loaded with bromeliads. And here's my male yellow LEHMANNI, standing proud. He was, just before I started recording, calling like Dickens here. And of course, once I get my camera for some good footage, he stops calling because he's scared. But nonetheless, this is still a cool shot of my male yellow LEHMANNI, which I figured I'd share with you guys. It's got a pretty unique pattern too, where his right side is all connected. Usually the LEHMANNI are banded across, but you can see when he hops away, he's got a pretty cool little pattern on him. It's really clean looking. They're great frogs. They really are probably my favorite out of everything I have. I love them. And up next, we're going to show you some pretty cool footage of the LEHMANNI courting. And I'm going to go dig around here and show you guys the yellow LEHMANNI froglet that I 50% raised. The parents raised it halfway through, and the leaf that it was in died and wasn't holding water, so I had to remove it and take care of it myself by stealing other LEHMANNI eggs and bullseye eggs to feed it. So as you can see, it's a really nice looking froglet. Tons of yellow on it, which I personally think is just awesome. So should hopefully, fingers crossed, it grows up healthy and possibly a female, because that seems to be what's on high demand for the yellow LEHMANNI currently. And here we have the fine spot LEUCOMELAS, which are always a crowd pleaser. You know, yellow and black frogs, just like the LEHMANNI, quite a bit smaller, but with tons of little fine spots of black. So really nice frogs. You can see I have some eggs from them in their tank. And fixing the cocoa hut on the LEHMANNI tank. Okay, and I talked to you guys about these tanks. They're all empty, so I'm not going to go into much detail there. Just holding some plants. And over here, there's my water for the Misting King underneath. Misting King. Mist King. These are just some froglets. Green sips, Qatari, and yellowback. And some more froglets. These are same thing, I believe. Yeah, there's yellowbacks, Qatari, and green sips in here. Obviously, it's a little hard to do this just using one hand, but green sips have some great color. You can see the lime green coloration on those. Really stunning frogs. So those are my tadpoles now. I moved them over here right by my desk so I can see them. 2 bins, one with all Qatari, one with multiple things. And I'll just do a rewound version of the video that I started off with to kind of close things out. Like I said, there's a lot more to come in the next couple months. I'm going to be building 16 more tanks, hopefully by the end of the year. If I don't do that by the end of the year, I'll be mad at myself, because that's my goal that I've set. But having a newborn child comes into the mix and could make things a little more difficult for me. So hopefully that's not the case and I can get everything done, but who knows if that'll actually happen. So I hope you guys enjoyed this update. I know it's been quite a while. Yeah, I don't think I've got anything else much to go into, but yeah, stay tuned. I will probably be posting a video of the 180-gallon vivarium that houses my redhead histrionica. Do a little update there on the plant growth and everything. And then, you know, I'll be posting some updates as I build these newer tanks. So, guess that's going to do it for now. If you haven't subscribed to my channel by now, please hit that subscribe button. And you can also hit that notification bell so when I do post videos, you'll be notified. And also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at OOPHAGA HISTRIONICA. I'm also on Facebook. Just search the name Troy Goldberg, and I'm located in Youngstown, Ohio. We'll see you next time, guys. Goldberg out.